That's such an abrupt ending. Welcome, guys, to Off Time, Not Enough Thumbs, episode 119.
We did. Before midnight, so it's Tuesday-ish.
It's technically Tuesday. The only thing we missed was Taco Tuesday. It was more like fried chicken.
Yeah.
And potato Tuesday.
And salad. Okay, so this is episode
119.
119 episodes.
So close.
That's awesome.
To 120. In
Yes.
fact, 1 week away. If we can pull it off. I think we can.
And this is why I'm here.
This is a doozy of an episode, guys.
So, this movie that we're going to review, we saw in the theater. So, it is still currently in the theater. I want to say it's not selling what they had hoped.
Really?
I think that's what I read somewhere. But we thought it was good.
I thought it was excellent.
It is.
Dun dun dun.
Mission Impossible.
Final Reckoning. Yeah. The ending, I think, after 20 movies or so of Mission Impossible starting, I think, in the late 90s.
But this is the finale, and they made it so in the movie.
I think it was a appropriate sending off of this entire franchise.
Agreed. So you do have closure in the end.
Yep.
Which is good.
In a Mission Impossible style kind of closure.
Yes.
We'll get to that.
Yes.
And so obviously this is a Tom Cruise movie, and this is nothing short of a literally action-packed action movie.
Yeah.
With a lot of impossible things happening. But what do you want to say about it? There's a lot to unpack.
Yeah. So for the portrayal of his age in this movie, he's still able to pull off a lot of junk.
He is still, some people say that he is, Hollywood's last greatest action star, and I believe that for sure. He still does. He's like the American version of Jackie Chan. He still does all of his own stunts.
Yeah, so I might not like him as a person or what he stands for in real life, but he's a great actor. He really is. And you can't contest that.
And he stays in this lane. I mean, you really don't hear about him in politics. It's the other folks that you hear about in politics, but this guy just sticks to movies, and he's good at it, and that's what he's known for. Yeah, it's great. So this does pick up from Dead Reckoning, which was the movie that preceded this one, but it stands alone as a movie on its own.
Yes.
Just as entertaining, I think.
Yes. So if you've seen the other ones, it kind of is a continuation of each of the other ones, as they each were of each other.
They just kind of built and built and built.
This is great action, and you can completely get the idea of the movie on its own.
And they actually include one crucial character that I thought was kind of a nice, what do you call it? He was somebody from the original Mission Impossible movie, and I think everybody knows the scene where he drops in from the ceiling to steal something, I think.
Yep. He
accidentally drops his knife, and then the guy comes in wondering what the knife is.
Yes.
The guy that walked in, he was in this movie.
He was.
And turned out to be one of the protagonists in the film, and it was great.
Yes.
Ving Rhames, was he? No, he wasn't the hacker. The other guy was the hacker.
Right.
But, yeah, Ving Rhames, and the hacker guy. I'm so bad with character names.
Yes.
But they were both in here, and really, really good stuff. What was your favorite action sequence in this one? I don't know. Let's go with what were
there are
ones?
So many, it seems like.
So let's work our way backwards. There's the airplane one, like the airplane chase. There's the pick any of the underwater aspects of that. Let's see. There was what was the other part?
So there was one underwater one that I was like, what?
Yeah.
No way. There's no way he would have survived that.
Yeah, and I guess you're, I don't know. You feel like you're on the edge of your seat. I was still on the edge of my seat, even though I knew in the back of my mind that there's no way they're going to kill him off in the middle of the movie.
Right.
So I guess there's no surprise there, but still I was... Now, I'll go back to the different movie, Top Gun Maverick, where there was a part in there where I genuinely thought that he died when he got shot down.
Yeah.
You remember that? And I thought, wow, there's no way they're going to close with that.
Well, in that one they could have, though, because it was kind of Rooster that was pulled up as the main character in that.
Mm-hmm.
So, technically, if they would have killed Maverick off, it still would have been okay, I think.
Would have brought some closure. I think fans would not have liked that.
Agreed.
But
same as in this one. I don't think anybody would have liked a different ending than what we had in this one.
Yeah. So I think with a lot of underwater movies, I find myself holding my breath whenever they're underwater.
Yes. Well, and this was such an extreme amount of time.
Yeah.
That he was underwater.
What was it? We watched also that older movie where they were escaping the ship. I think Gene Hackman was in it. And the ship had capsized. Was it the Poseidon Adventure?
Oh, maybe.
And they were doing a lot of swimming under there too. And the guy said, "Oh, it's just 30 feet." And even just going in the swimming pool, if I swim down to the bottom of a 13-foot pool, I'm ready to get back up there.
I mean, I can see how adrenaline would come into play and give you a little bit more longevity than you would normally have if you were not under that pressure.
Yeah.
So I could see that coming into play with that and being able to withstand a little more. But yeah, man, some of these movies just make it unbelievable.
And the way they set up what he had to do in the beginning, they're after this. It wasn't the key. It was because they had the key. They had to get something out of a submarine that had sunk to the bottom of the ocean from the previous movie.
Yeah.
And I think it was his doing.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a key. Wasn't it? Yeah, a key.
So they had both parts of the key, but I think
yes.
they had to get... It wasn't the entity. It was, I don't know if it was the virus for it. I forget what was inside the box that was being protected. But yeah, so they had to time everything so perfectly, and it almost was like they were finding a needle in a haystack
yes.
on the surface before they even got down below.
Right.
And they took this helicopter from an aircraft carrier and then flew out to the middle of nowhere, and they're wondering, where's the thing? Right. And they don't see anybody, and then Tom Cruise just jumps out.
Right.
And then he gets rescued by the divers that they were looking for.
Yeah.
So yeah, besides that, and I like the submarine. Was it? I don't know what he is. He's not a captain, whatever. The guy that was the leader of the submarine, the black guy.
Uh-huh.
And he was getting the mission explained to him, and he's just kind of looking at him like, what?
What are you talking about? What are we doing here? Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's, impossible for him to get back up. So he finally gets down there. And then the submarine starts moving around and is going to roll off into a deeper trench. And so he's trying to navigate within the submarine to get to this protected thing in there. Right. And then he tries to escape through a torpedo tube. He couldn't fit, so he took off his pack, tried to shove it with him. And then something else happened where he had to take off his whole suit, and he's in frigid water.
Yeah.
He's in cold water, and then holding his breath, and he had to do away.
That's the part I'm talking about. That was like, come on, there's no way.
He had to do away with his mask altogether, and then he is you could see him trying to swim to the top of and I'm thinking, how is he that close to the surface? He was,
so far, yes.
So far down, and then...
Yes. So that is a part where we're like, okay.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a stretch.
But I was still excited.
Yeah. He did it. The literal impossible.
Yeah, and, got rescued by Haley Atwell's, I think that's her name, her character.
Yeah.
In the decompression chamber, which obviously was already too late for that.
Right.
But that's the way the story went.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, very entertaining movie.
I thought it was great. I did see Dead Reckoning in the theater also. I enjoyed that one too. There are several ones that I still have not seen, but the ones that I have watched, yeah, they're fun. They're fun movies.
I think I stayed awake for the whole thing.
You're right, she did.
See?
We even had heated and reclining seats,
I did
and she
not
stayed
use
awake.
the heat.
I
I did eat popcorn, and I drank my soda. I brought my soda with because they don't have any soda I can drink.
We had dinner before, and we were both thinking, man, we're so full, and then we still finished a large
And
popcorn.
it was such a late movie that I thought, oh man, there's no way I'm staying awake for this movie unless it is super entertaining.
Yeah.
Because it didn't start till 9 something?
9:15 or something.
And then, there's always 5 million hours of previews before you get to the movie.
And I wish I could remember none of them are really sticking of
The
something
previews?
that I wanted to really
I think
see.
we were talking. We weren't really paying attention to the previews too much.
We were surprised to see another Jurassic World.
Oh,
sequel,
that one, yes. Yeah.
trailer.
Oh,
Excuse me.
it kind of looks interesting though. It has Scarlett Johansson.
It did kind of look interesting, but
I like Scarlett Johansson.
I'm just thinking, man, I thought they were done, but
I don't think they're ever. If they can play that sucker off more and more and more, they're going to.
You know,
It's a multi-billion-dollar
as long
theme.
as they can tell a good story with it and not use the same formula like they did with the last
Yeah,
ones,
some of them were not great.
which the formula
Just
has
was great.
been the same for the most part.
Yeah.
They can tell a good story. It can be great.
The first one is still the best one of all of them.
It is. That really captured everybody's imaginations.
Yeah.
And they're talking about Top Gun 3, and they spent a year developing the story. So,
Really? Another one?
Tom Cruise is going to be in it, and the article kept saying. I started to wonder because the article said, "Here's what Top Gun 3 is about," and then it was paragraph after paragraph of not saying what Top Gun 3 is about, but that it's going to be bigger and better. But they did spend, I guess, a year developing the story, and they are intending to talk. They understand what they have to. It was, the greatest movie of 2023, and they understand what they have to. Get better than.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. They gotta.
I won't believe
Yeah.
it's going to be good until
It
proves itself.
It's
so.
gotta be. Yeah. It's gotta be a miracle.
It's going to have to be a lot to top Maverick.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to, but good story writers can have that power.
I suppose they
guess.
probably
Yeah.
could.
So
But
we'll-
anyway, we got to get back to rating. We didn't rate.
What would you rate it? I'll give it an 8.5.
Yeah, that sounds good. 8.5 sounds good for that rating. Yeah.
I would certainly watch it again when it is available streaming.
Yeah, and I think our boys would enjoy it.
Yeah.
So
Well, maybe it could be the Christmas Eve movie.
maybe we could watch all of them back to back, like we used to do Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, 10 Mission Impossibles are going to be the same as 3 Lord of the Rings.
I mean, we have a week vacation
True, we
over
do.
Christmas,
We do.
but that 1 week our son will be home, so
Yeah.
we may not shove a bunch of movies into that. We might be spending time with him. So
Yeah.
anyway, check it out. The newest Mission Impossible movie from this year, 2025.
Yep. So we're
Like, subscribe, and ding it. Bing it, ding it. What were you going to say?
I was going to say thanks for joining us this episode. We know that Tuesdays have kind of been sprinkled in here and there.
I know,
but,
we're trying. I
yeah,
promise.
we do try harder to get the Saturday lives in.
Yeah. We will not have a Friday fave this time because we will be driving on Friday unless we pre-record.
Unless we pre-record.
We'll see. So we're not promising a Friday fave this week, but we are going to go live on Saturday. The
Trying to
timing, we're not sure, and the location is up in the air. But
Yeah. And we hope to have a bundle of movies to talk about under our award theme still.
yes, we already have several,
Yeah.
and we've got more time.
Good.
So, all right,
Yeah, so thanks for joining us this time, and
we'll see you on
see
Saturday.
you soon.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Which one would you press? Stop streaming or end broadcast?